Okay, we're here today on RealAgriculture.com. We are fortunate to be sitting here today with the CEO of Viterra, Mayo Schmidt. Welcome today, Mayo.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Mayo, Viterra has been quite a success story. The merger of Saskpool and her Agricor United. It's been on a very, very successful financial path. I want to ask you some questions today related to some of the things that have happened and some of the future. It sounds like the future is very bright for Viterra. I want to start with the seed business. What role does the seed business play in Viterra's business?
Well, in one of the ways, it's a foundation business, and quite frankly, through a lot of evolution of many years, it's interesting that the seed technology is becoming one of the catalysts as to how companies like Viterra are going to help feed the world going forward, because, as you would know, in many years we out-consume the production. And it's very important that we all together stay focused on the primary objective here is healthy foods to areas of need from areas of surplus. And the Seed Foundation products, whether they're developed by us or other suppliers to us, become critical in that food chain.
So in terms of Viterra's business, grain handling is kind of the foundation.
Sure.
Do you see, because everything sort of starts with seed, or we're starting to feel that way, do you see the seed business becoming a bigger or higher profile in your business?
Well, it has been, and it continues to be, although, keep in mind that companies like Monsanto, who have got a large focus and a big capital investment in that business, are major suppliers to us. And of course, when we think about the grain, of course, there's seed that gets used year after year from just primary production. But Viterra has established through, since the early years of the origination of Saskatchewan wheat pool, and through the efforts of farmers, has established a foundation business of grain origination, and it's complemented by the seed business and chemical and fertilizer. So we're going to continue to emphasize that area, and we want to have that as an offering to promote the highest yields of the highest quality foods possible from our customers.
So, doing a little bit of research, I read that in Western Canada, Viterra is 42% of the grain handling market. So very substantial. So is there any room for growth there, or how do you feel about that?
Well, there is, and of course your point maybe is that there are limitations, and when we went through the combination with the other heritage cooperatives, which to form Viterra, there were limitations as seen by the Competition Bureau that were enforced, and we've adjusted to those, and quite frankly it's brought a nice balance to the industry. Viterra does enjoy a leading market share, and with that we think one, growth is possible, primarily on the input side, which is back to your question about seed, and also with that we take a strong view that we have a great responsibility not only to the customers to deliver healthy foods, but to the people that grow those products, and that really is an area of focus, and I think it differentiates us from other large multinational companies because we do remember our heritage, and we stay very close to that.
Okay. So a lot of people obviously know you for your grain handling, for your crop input parts of your business. Livestock Services is something that maybe flies a little bit under the radar for a lot of farmers, but those of us that are in Feedlot Alley are well aware. Is there a lot of future growth potential for being in the livestock?
Well, there certainly may be. There's not a global dominant company in the feed manufacturing products. Viterra now has plants across Canada and in Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma. With the acquisition in Australia, of course, we now have a strong position in New Zealand, where they have 4 million dairy cows, and where we have a state-of-the-art feed manufacturing facility that's just being completed. So today we're about 2.3 million tons of feed, so it is a substantial business for us. It's a business that we're seeing mature. We think in that industry that there's going to be consolidation and some economies of scale that will be necessary, because today, relative to the risk and the returns, it's not a business that will that would be of great interest to us well into the future if it didn't have growth potential and the ability to create efficiencies or higher returns.
So you mentioned Australia. What about the acquisition of ABB Grain? Does that does that create synergies, create new markets? Does it have impact on Canada, your business in Canada? How does it play?
Yeah, you know, it creates so much, and we could talk about that for an hour, but to give you the highlights of what it's created, first of all, many of the premier food manufacturers want multi-origin sourcing to protect their source of food supply because of weather-related issues, tariffs, trade issues, freight, etc. And so by bringing together two of the three largest export countries in the world, which Canada and Australia, allows us to provide optional origin selection or origination, and so we can sell more to the customers that we have and attract more customers to the Canadian and to the Australian farmers to allow them to have greater choice, look at the market signals, and of course we think that by loading and having the logistics arbitrage opportunity and loading more vessels gives us a little more influence in the market to, of course, generate higher returns that we then use to stimulate more volume to come to us from the farmers that do business with us. So it does a lot for us, and of course from a company point of view in our balance sheet, which is very strong today, but we also know that droughts happen, and although not frequent, that we need a very robust balance sheet, and the diversification that this brings to the company and to the people and for the people that do business with us that count on our financial stability really provides a great foundation.